We're live, and it's good 5 minutes early that I get online early in case anybody needs to see that I'm here. There's always a delay. I'm going to take care of a few things and be back really soon. We'll get started in about, 5 minutes or so. And what's up? What do we got? Anything? We do. Good morning. We're going to get started here in a few minutes. There's always a delay, so if I'm saying things and I don't respond right away to questions or comments, it's because there's a delay. I like questions. I like comments. I encourage interaction. So please feel free to chime in. There's typically, I broadcast this on several different channels. So we've got a couple YouTube things. And so give it a few minutes. And typically I don't present during the month of November and December because everybody has holiday madness. They don't show up. They don't do things. So unless it has to do with gift buying or eating, then people just don't seem to give a crap, which has always been disappointing to me since I was a child, because as we all observe, it seems that the spirituality of holiday seasons have been stripped clean. I mean, it's all about those other things. It's not, we all do our best to try to sustain the consciousness of the spiritual meanings of the holidays, but it just makes it even harder. It makes it very difficult because we are bombarded with all these material pursuits. And of course, it's a lot of worry and stress. Anyway, so we'll get started here in a couple minutes. I can't tell if anybody's online or not, so please excuse the delay. We'll get started here in a couple minutes. Sometimes I see when people are online, sometimes I don't. So be patient, please. We'll get started in a few minutes. Again, I was saying that during the holidays from November on, I pretty much usually do not present live or tour or even live stream, which is somewhat new for me. I'm usually in person because everybody gets holiday madness. All they care about is gift buying, material things. And so I've kind of learned to kind of lay that low. But I do want to keep this going, and I do have something really special planned for just after the holiday that should be really fun. Kind of came to me in a vision this morning. I was wondering what, if anything, I could do during the holiday. Anyway, we'll get to that in a little bit. So again, I encourage any comments, any questions. I always encourage interaction with these presentations. It's not just about me, it's what you think and what you want to know. We get to have some fun today because the Sanskar term and concept and knowledge of it is virtually unknown in the West. And when I say West, I simply mean the more Western philosophies, religions, etc. And when I refer to East, of course, we're talking about the Orient, India, China, Japan, etc. So the fun thing is, I always enjoy presenting information that very few people actually know about. It's fulfilling for me to give kind of knowledge and insights to things that people don't have access to. And it's always a fun thing. I always present angles, perceptions, and deeper versions. I only present on things that I'm extremely well studied on, that I care passionately about. So I have a good reputation for being able to take everything I present on to a whole nother level. But it's rare that I get to present on issues and topics that are virtually unknown to many of the people that I talk to. So that can be fun. And you may know all about it, I don't know. Most Westerners, there's these air quotes, have never even heard the word Sanskar. So again, it makes it kind of fun to present something that is not only unusual and unknown to most conventional philosophies in the West, it's also not that well known in the East either. You talk to Hindus and other Eastern and Indian people, and many of them don't know it either. And the thrilling part of this, I hope, what I've been looking forward to, is how applicable Sanskars is, how useful this knowledge can be, how you can use it to your advantage. Same thing with the KARM concepts and straightening out the crooked path to truly understand what it means and how it really works. Because there's such a misunderstanding of it. These things are so applicable to our daily life. Every day we're interacting with and we're dealing with our karmic and sanskar circumstances. And the more we know about it, the more we can make it work for us instead of against us. So as you see here on the banner, karma versus sanskars, I got a bunch of emojis there, which is pretty trite, but it actually really fits this particular topic. So I had to do it. So you see actions versus emotions. So we got karma versus sanskars. So actions versus emotions, likes versus dislikes, circumstances versus mood. We talked about in the last two workshops, KARM. I don't like to put the A on the end because that's an English affectation. The true pronunciation is KARM, and it means action. So we've gone over that. We're going to review some of that, but we're going to a different level. I wouldn't say deeper or better or higher. I would say it's a different level. It's just a different layer of the KARM and human condition. Well, that's it, human condition. It's another layer to it. So KARM is actions, and it regulates the events of our life, the good things and bad things that happen, illness, health, wealth, success, where we live, how we live, the way we look. Those events, and then of course the events themselves, marriage, children, school, all those things that we all end up going through. And of course, to even a higher degree, for example, my death experience in 2013. And that event is a karmic event. It's an action. Sanskars deal with the other layers, how we feel, what we think, what we perceive, what our likes are, what our dislikes are, what we're attracted to, what we're repelled by. So this is why it can be so useful, because this is again, something we deal with every day, all the time. We can't stop the actions that are coming. Our karmic consequences are fate. They're determined. We can't change those. what we can do is convert them into ways we can learn from them and benefit from them and grow and evolve. That's the function of KARM. KARM is about being able to evolve. Whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger, right? And so we can look at it as opportunities. And karma is also, it's not a punishment, because good things happen too from karma. All the events of our lives are regulated by the force of karma. But the ultimate message and theme of karma is to make us very uber ultra aware that there is no happiness truly in the world itself. That no matter what we do, we're always going to get punished. We're always going to have we're always going to have events and circumstances. And even if they're good, the good ones, as the Buddha said in the Four Dharmas, life is suffering. The cause of suffering is desiring. To end suffering and desiring. Because what he said was, there's only two things that can occur when you have a desire. And we are desire machines. We can't stop. We are constantly creating desires, whether we willfully do it or not. Desiring is an automatic default mechanism we all have all the time. So what he meant by that was that there's only two outcomes that can happen with any desire. It either gets fulfilled and we get greedy because we want more, or gets unfulfilled and we get disappointed or angry. That's it. We may have this illusion. Oh no, Krishnana, you're wrong. I get my desires fulfilled and I feel very content temporarily. If it was complete contentment, you would never have another desire. So all of your desires just feed into another one. And this is what the Buddha meant when he said, the cause of life is suffering. The cause of suffering is desires. To end suffering, you must end desiring. He didn't say end bad desiring, end unhealthy ones. He said end desiring. If you end desiring, then you can end suffering. We are caught in a loop, a constant loop of reward and punishment to get to attain, and we're in a perpetual loop of either wanting more or feeling disappointed. And in many ways, those are the same sides, different sides of the same coin. Because when we don't get what we want, what happens? We create more desires. We either want something else, or we want to persist in that until we get it. That's me. I'm a bull. I mean, I just don't know how to stop. That's why I have the addictive personality, because I just don't know how to stop, and I don't like to. When I want something, I'm willing to put in the time and the effort to make it happen. I know that I'll be disappointed if I don't, so I'm going to put in the time. I don't expect it to come to me for free. So again, what we're dealing with today is the other layer, the deep. I wouldn't say deeper, or bigger, or better. Just a different layer, a different dimension of the human condition. And the human condition is the overall events and experience that we can have as human: life, death, birth, love, hatred, anger, happiness, wealth, etc. That's the human condition. So how we feel about it, the force of how we feel about things, are sanskars. Karma is action, sanskar is how we feel. Let's see what the next slide is. So I guess I'm a little redundant. There we go. So as we went over in the last two workshops, the Sanskrit is the eternal, original, primordial language of the earth planet. There isn't one that came before it. Everything starts there. This is my opinion. Okay, I mean, you could say it is, but everything that I present, I go down the rabbit hole. Anything that I've been interested in, I follow it down until I find its origin. Until when I can't go any further, then I know I found its end. So Sanskrit is the original primordial language. Karm is action, work or deed, what it means in Sanskrit. I get that thing in the way, don't I? Sanskrit words typically represent concepts. The concept of action or deed involves reaction, result, or attached consequence also. They come together. Sanskrit doesn't see action as separate from its reaction or consequence. They're the same things. But now we get to sanskar. Sanskar are subconscious impressions, an imprint upon the mind an imprint upon the mind of every thought, action, and intention, which come in wave vibrations. It's, as you can see already, it's a lot less, accessible. It's a little bit more ambiguous to understand sanskar. Karma is actually fairly easy. It's just action. It's very physical. It's an event. It's a circumstance. But sanskar becomes a little bit more nebulous. It's a bit more of a challenge to present on and to think about and to grasp, because our emotions are not as hard-lined and as tangible as events that occur. So again, sanskar basically means in Sanskrit a subconscious impression, an imprint upon the mind of every thought, action, intention, which comes in wave vibrations. What I mean imprint is that anything you do, there's what you do, but there's how you feel about it. I don't like doing gardening chores. I just never been much of a gardener. I don't, it's okay. But within 10, 15 minutes, I'm like burned out of it. Like I'm not enjoying it. I don't have fun. I have fun with a lot of other type of work, building things and hard labor. I like to have fun with that. So my action is digging a ditch, but my mind is either enjoying it or not enjoying it. That is a sanskar. That's what I'm doing, is I'm creating an impression upon my subconscious mind. The more you do something, the more you make that impression. Repetition and association. The more you do something, the way you feel about it becomes a sanskar. We're layering these all in our minds. As we know, any habits, again, it's not just an action. It's what we feel about it. We can create bad habits through repetition and association. We repeat things again and again and again. And how we feel about them is the associations we have with them. And if we identify something as good, pleasurable, positive, then that's the impression that our subconscious mind gets. It doesn't know anything else. It only knows what we tell it. And if we categorize it as bad, negative, etc., well, then the subconscious mind wants to reject it. It doesn't encourage us to do it. But if we categorize it as good or pleasurable, then the subconscious mind is encouraging us to pursue it. And again, as we talked about with KARM, KARM is not realized in this lifetime. Hopefully, people that are watching and attending were present in the last workshop as we talked about how KARM, the consequence and events, fructify, take place in your next lifetime, or both, or many. We don't have time to have instant karma. John Lennon was wrong in that particular concept, only one. Yeah, everything else he was right about. But how we feel about things creates an impression. And this is how we get our likes and dislikes. So here we go again. Yes, difference between KARM and SANSKAR. KARM governs events and circumstances, and SANSKARS governs mood, attitudes, preference, interests, attractions, and repulsions. This is very important. I like to have a little fun, and I'll say to a client when I'm explaining these kind of things or in a presentation, what's your favorite kind of ice cream? Almost everyone, I've only met one person that said I don't like ice cream, and I don't believe them. I can't. I think ice cream, everyone, you haven't had the flavor you like yet, but everyone likes it. And so your preferences, the things you like and don't like, if I said, what's your favorite ice cream? And you say pistachio, I say, did you make a conscious choice to make that your favorite ice cream? Or did you just try it and you liked it? Our favorite things, the things we like, the things we don't like, our attractions and repulsions, our preferences, our interests are regulated by sanskars. We don't have to make a conscious decision to like pistachio ice cream or something else that becomes our favorite. Things that we like or don't like, are types of people that we enjoy, or movies or art or whatever it may be. Two people sitting together watching a film, and one person hates it and one person likes it. Neither one is right or wrong. They have their likes and dislikes, which is sanskars at work. Things that we're drawn to, things that we enjoy, things that we don't enjoy. These are our sanskars. So again, these are very basic so far. We're going to get a little bit deeper. So whatever we persist in, if in a prior lifetime we had pistachio ice cream and we liked it and we kept eating it and we kept associating with it, saying it was really good every time we had it, well, we're creating a sanskar. And in our next lifetime, we taste that pistachio ice cream, we like it. Now, apparently, in a past life, I must have Rocky Road ice cream and puked or barfed or hated it because I don't like it. I think it's bizarre to put marshmallows in ice cream. I think it's wrong. So I don't know. I didn't make a conscious choice of this. It's not something I determined. I heard of Rocky Road ice cream. I looked at it. I thought that was disgusting. I tried it and I hated it. I don't think marshmallows belong in ice or anything really. I really don't think they belong in anything. I don't think they belong on the planet. But my point is that there are a lot of people that like Rocky Road ice cream. I don't know why. There's a lot of people that are left-handed too, and that's bizarre to me. I can't figure that out. So this is a very crude example of sanskar in action. Our likes and dislikes. Take this to a higher level. The people that we like or don't like. We all have types typically that we are attracted to in the opposite sex or the same sex if we're homosexual. So these are our sanskar. We have had positive experiences with these similar qualities in the past. And so we're drawn to them. And if we are repelled by something, it's because we've had negative experiences with this in past lives. And our subconscious mind remembers it. We don't. Our conscious mind doesn't. Our subconscious mind doesn't really. But our a couple few layers down. So your sanskars exist. There are 14 layers of the mind. It's a whole other workshop. That's going to be a mind blower. 14 layers. But we're not going to go into that today. So whatever we persist in, whatever we enjoy, whatever we don't like, whatever behavior, whatever thought patterns, things that we indulge in and we persist in, creates layers of sanskars that regulate our moods, our attitudes, our preferences, our interests, our attractions, and our repulsions. Real quick, let me get this next slide. Let's talk moods real fast. So we often have, all of us had the expression, woke up on the wrong side of the bed. We all have those days. I have days where I wake up and I just, for whatever reason, don't feel well. I don't feel energetic, and I'm usually a bundle of energy. Feel tired, and there's no reason for it. I have days, as we all do, where I just don't feel friendly or warm, and there are the days when I absolutely do. This is again an example of sanskars at work that come in waves. They regulate our moods, how we feel. We all have these days where we feel good or bad, and yet we can't think of any reason why it is. We just woke up that way, and we all accept that because it's also common that we don't question that. What happened between us? What happened in the instant we became conscious that may put us in a bad mood or a good mood? Nothing could have happened. We just woke up. But this is because these are sanskars at work in the layers of our mind, unfolding and expanding like waves over our mind and over our spirit. Oh, you know, let me close this blind. I can see the reflection in the video screen. That's terrible. 1 second. Hopefully that's better. There we go. I think it's a little bit better. No, not much. Oh, well, we'll deal with it. So we take this to another level. I've given you examples of our favorite ice cream, of our moods, these kind of things. These are everyday common things. They're not that profound. They're not very useful. It's like, okay, big deal. Oh yeah, awesome. I don't know like why I like pistachio ice cream, why I don't like Rocky Road. How can I use that? Besides when I'm at Baskin Robbins trying to figure out what ice cream to get or what not to get. Because again, same with KARM. Whatever we do are deposits into our next life bank account, our KARM and sanskar bank account. So whatever you participate in, whatever you involve yourself with, you're creating layers within your subconscious mind that will play out in future lifetimes. So it's an investment, it's an opportunity for us to choose the ones that we want to create. I really need to close that. It's making me insane, so it's got to be making anybody who's watching it. I don't like that. I don't like that glare. Hold on a second. I gotta move that. And again, please feel free to ask any questions you want along the way. Boom. Will that do it? If that doesn't do it, I'm out. Oh, that did it. Yeah, that's much better, isn't it? If you like it, give me a thumbs up. So, whatever we're doing and persisting in is creating these layers. So this is an opportunity. What do we want to invest in? We're coming back in future lives. That's a fact. This whole idea that you die and you go to heaven for eternity simply by being whoever you were, being good or bad, that's a Western myth. They've completely contorted it. We're not going to go into reincarnation right now, but I'm assuming that people are watching this particular type presentation, except the concept of reincarnation as a fact. So we need to think of sanskars and our actions and our intentions as an opportunity to create. In a similar way, as parents, we condition our children to have virtues and character. Reward them when they do good things. We punish them when they do bad things. We try to involve them enthusiastically into good things, creative things, whatever it may be, and discourage them from bad things that are toxic and harmful. So this is again an opportunity, because when we understand how karma and sanskars work, then we get to be in the driver's seat to be able to plan our next lifetimes. I don't know about you, but when I'm going on a trip, when I'm going on a vacation anywhere or on a business trip, well, I plan. I clean the house. I put away any perishable foods, make sure the cat is fed well. I lock the doors. I get gas in the car. I get my tickets. I get my reservations. I do all this planning ahead so when I'm going on my trip, I have a smooth sailing experience with it. And so karma and sanskars is our preparation time. This is where we get to live our lives. And if we are consciously involved with how we're living our lives, then we are investing in how we're going to live our lives in our next lifetimes. What an opportunity. Again, it's the value of this break away from the conventional Western understanding of karma and sanskars, and knowing the truth of how the Eastern understanding of how it really works is valuable, because we can use it to our advantage. Your likes and dislikes and your characteristics, your virtues, your vices, etc., are all there because of karma and sanskars from your past lives. So you are walking evidence of your choices in past lives. Everything in your life is walking evidence, clear evidence of that. So we can participate in that process, and we can deliberately, consciously choose to be involved and interact with and spend time with the things that we want to be involved with. Material consciousness versus spiritual consciousness. I'm somebody, for example, I'm always bringing this down to kind of more mundane earthly levels so we can all relate to it. I'm somebody that I've been working out. I have a gym at home through all my adult life since I was in my late 20s. In the beginning, as a young man, and as I've coached and helped a lot of middle-aged people too, working out and exercising takes discipline, takes control. You've got to have that willpower to discipline yourself. Say, you know what, I'm not going to sit here and watch TV. I'm going to go ahead and work out. I'm not going to take it easy. I'm tired from work, but I'm not going to take it easy. I'm going to go work out. And over time, I've been doing this for so long, living this way, that it's not something I try to do. Not something I have to think about. It's automatic. It's habitual. And this is, again, evidence of a sanskar. This is clearly carryover from past life involvement with fitness and wellness, because it's not a lifestyle for me. It's the way I live. I don't look at it as a lifestyle. It's the way I live. I have brown hair and I exercise. So we're turning this into something useful when we realize that when we, in the beginning, add discipline and commitment to involve ourselves with spiritual things over material things, then we develop spiritual consciousness in this life and create sanskars to have these tendencies and preferences in our next life too. The whole concept of these things, and many of the presentations I'll be giving, is to look at your existence, not your life. Your life is one little blip on an ever-going screen, little blip. Think of yourself as an eternal being, because you are one. and we look at our long game picture of things as eternal beings, well, then we're not just thinking what we're going to enjoy today. I think, what are we going to enjoy tomorrow or not? What's going to cause us problems tomorrow? I don't want to pay my bills, but if I don't pay my bills, I won't have lights on tomorrow. Never mind today. I got them today, but if I don't pay the bills, well, I got to think about tomorrow too. And so I no longer see my life as a lifetime. I see my existence as an ongoing process. So I am very well set and determined to invest wisely in my actions and my attitudes and my interests in this lifetime to create impressions of sanskars in my next lifetimes. I don't want to like Rocky Road ice cream in this lifetime or like next lifetime. Okay, those of you who are watching earlier will get that little inside joke because it's pretty funny. So we get to choose what we're going to create every day of our lives, what we're involving ourselves with. You want to watch reality show shit, or do you want to watch something cerebral, something more with some depth? Excuse my language. That's a sanskar thing. It's left over. So you can see in this picture, we've got people that are smiling with the shopping thing, and same family down below meditating and doing yoga. It's our choice how we're going to spend our time. And again, as parents, this is a good way to regulate it. As parents, we can think, what are we exposing our kids to? What are we involving ourselves with? We are living and walking examples to everyone around us, especially our kids. We often should say to others and to our children, do as I do, not as I say. And so often people live in their lives where they do as I say, not as I do. And when I see somebody that tells me to do, advises me to do something, but they don't do it themselves, I'm out. As a counselor, behavioral specialist, I've had the privilege of saving a lot of lives throughout my career. We're talking now thousands, and it's such an honor. And it goes from everything from people living well and working out and getting fit and losing weight, to getting off of dope, getting off of drugs, doing destructive things. But how can I expect anybody who looks at me as a mentor to follow my advice if I don't live the example of it? How can I suggest to anyone that vegetarianism to me is a virtue, that I think is healthy for you, if I'm not doing it myself? How can I recommend to anyone to work out and be fit and be conscious of their health and wellness mentally too, if I'm not doing it myself? Would you go to a barber that had a bad haircut? Would you go to a dentist with bad teeth? I'm not. So we have an obligation to create these sanskars in this lifetime and benefit all those who are around us by living the example, by being an inspiration. Let's talk a little bit about how sanskars work. So let me see if I can move that. I can't. So what it says is wave vibrations, and I can't even see it. What stupid PowerPoint pain in the butt. Wave vibration. Oh, and varying frequencies. That's what it says. Wave vibrations and varying frequencies. Sanskars come in waves. Again, we wake up on the wrong side of the bed. That's a good example. Wake up on the right side of the bed. Doesn't last all day usually. It comes in waves. It has a duration. Like milk in your refrigerator, it has an expiration time and date. And eventually it goes away. Very few of them last very long. Our moods, our attitudes, suddenly we're saying, wow, I was in a really bad mood earlier, and I don't know why. And suddenly I'm in a good mood today, now and I don't know why. We don't know why because these are sanskars at work. Our moods that change throughout the day, our interests. Sometimes I'm in a spiritual mood and I want to meditate. Sometimes I don't. Usually I do. But sometimes I don't. Every once in a while, I want to go do something physical and do something worldly. Again, that thing's making me insane. I want to try and move it. Can I move it? I cannot move it. Oh. So what do we do about them? No, let me go back because that's too soon for that. So wave vibrations and varying frequencies, intensities. So our moods, our likes, our dislikes, our preferences come in waves. We all experience this every day. Sometimes we get a craving for some junk food and we just can't live without it. And sometimes we get repelled by it and say, you know what, I don't want nothing to do with that. Sometimes it's hard, sometimes it's easy. Again, another prime example of SANSKARS at work in a very crude, mundane way that we see with it on our lives every day. I'm giving you evidence so you can relate to it and you can connect to it and say, this is true, this is factual. So our likes and dislikes and our moods come in waves every day. And again, it's what we experience. So you can see way on the top image there, I got this nice placid set of water on the sea, and then we have a bit of a wave, and then we have some big raging waves. To give you the example of, they come in waves, they come and go, and they come in varying frequencies and intensities. So what to do about it? If they just keep coming, like desires do, like karma does, what do we do about it? What is the point of knowing this if we can't do something with it? And again, as anybody who knows me knows, I don't present anything without giving you a way to utilize it. I'm not here giving you gratuitous knowledge. I want to give you useful things to use and do. So what do we do with these waves of sanskars and karmic consequences, etc., that come in waves of vibrations and frequencies and intensities? What do we do? Let's say that I'm experiencing, which I do sometimes, a neutral spiritual sanskar. In other words, I have no spiritual interest that day or that hour, whatever it may be. I just am not into it. Instead, I feel like watching TV. I feel like doing something that's a lot less beneficial for me spiritually and mentally, etc. I'm feeling lazy. I don't feel like working out. So what do I do about it? Well, as we all know, typically we muscle through it. But let's first keep in mind, sanskars come in waves. So what do? Wait them out. Most of them, wait them out. Don't reason with them. Don't battle with them. Don't contend with them. Don't try to solve them. Wait them out. Typically, they'll pass. When I'm having negative spiritual sanskars, and for me, negative is, I never have any negative feelings from my spirituality at all. I can't. I just don't. But sometimes I'm just not into it. Again, same thing with exercise, same thing with food, same thing with a lot of things. Just not up for it right now. And yet, if it persists, then I start to worry. But if I don't feel like working out, and if I don't feel like doing meditations and doing my spiritual practices, well, then what's going to happen to me? I won't be spiritually and physically well and fit. And I want to be. Those are very prideful. Those are very vital virtues to me. I don't want to neglect those. So what do? I wait them out. Now, I don't mean that I just literally, like this picture shows, sit and wait. At my ashram temple, satsang, our meditation starts at 7:30 p.m. in the evenings. It doesn't start whenever I show up. It starts at 7:30 p.m. I'm not the only one there. There's other people that are attending. So it has to start at a time and it has to end at a time. It goes from 7:30 to 9, sometimes till 10. So if I wait it out, well, then I'll miss it. So this could be some very bad advice. What I mean by wait them out is something less tangible, because as we said about sanskars are ambiguous. They're not physical events like karmas are. They're less tangible. They're more ambiguous. So when I say wait them out, what I mean is, if I'm not having a positive spiritual sanskar, if I'm having a negative one or a neutral one where I have no interest, and satsang meditation is at 7:30 p.m., I go. Doesn't matter about my mood. If I don't feel like working out today, I'll do it anyway. I won't be connected to it mentally or emotionally because I don't want to do it. But I'll physically do it. I will go through the motions. I'm going to show up. It's not as valuable as putting your heart and mind into it, for sure. Everything from working out to meditation. When you are focused on what you're doing when you're working out, you get a better workout. You definitely improve your health exponentially. Same with meditation, spirituality. It requires you to be mentally and emotionally present, not just present, but committed to it, involved. You can't do meditation on a surface level. The whole point of it is to reach your emotional mind. So when I say wait them out, I mean I continue to show up and do the things I need to do. Same thing with our jobs. Sometimes we don't want to go to work. Sometimes we never go to work, want to go to work, but we need to get paid and we need to do our job. So we show up. At the very least, we do the perfunctory, we do the minimum. A lot of people, that's all they do at their job. And I'm the opposite. I'm like always doing the maximum. I got like a pathology. I'm like sick. I say, oh, I'm just going to take it easy today. And then I get there and I'm like, and then I can't help it. So, and that's an example of Sanskar too. Many people are more indifferent and less energetic, enthusiastic about things. And many people are perpetually a little overly enthusiastic about things. That's a Sanskar. That's my tendency. And Sanskars are their tendencies. So when I say wait them out, what I'm doing is I'm showing up to my job, to meditation, to my workout, whatever that is that I want to do that I'm at that particular time not into, and I do it anyway. I mean, I do it as well, but I'm still doing it because as I wait them out, eventually the negative Sanskar will pass. And I'll still be in the routine of doing it. And I'm defying that negative Sanskar that's resisting these healthy behaviors. I'm defying it. I'm saying, complain all you want. I'm still going to work out. Complain all you want. I'm still going to go meditation. I'm still going to go. I'm going to do the best I can. Sure enough, if I'm having a negative Sanskar, I'm in meditation and my mind is wandering and I'm thinking about what's for breakfast tomorrow, who I got to see tomorrow, whatever. It happens. I'm human, but I don't freak out about it. I don't fight with it. I let it pass. This is the important knowledge that you can use with Sanskars is let them pass. When you have bad ones where you're not feeling enthusiastic about the healthy things in your life, let them pass. Show up, do the best you can, and let them let them run their course. But keep in mind, if bad Sanskars come, then good ones come too. And good ones also come in waves and frequencies and levels of intensity. And they also only last a certain while. So what do you do with those? If you can't stop the waves, you can learn to surf. So what we do with the good ones is we surf. You grab that wave and you go as long and as far as you can. If anybody's a surfer that's watching this, they know exactly what I mean. I'm not, but I know about it. When you get a good wave of Sanskar, ride that baby, ride it. Take it as far as you can and enjoy it. So I'm having a good spiritual Sanskar or fitness or whatever it may be. Well, then I'm going to do twice the amount. I'm not just going to show up and do the minimum. Again, we have at our temple satsang, meditation, every night at 7:30. And it goes till 9. But from 9 to 10 on many nights, there's like a little extra bonus meditation session that I absolutely love. And if I'm having a negative Sanskar or a neutral one toward spirituality, if I'm not into it, well, then I'll only go till 9. I'm going to show up. But if I'm into it, I'm having a good Sanskar, I stay till 10. I show up early and I leave late. If I'm having neutral, bad Sanskars, I might show up late and leave a little early, but I'm still showing up. So this again is hopefully the value. Because again, I never want to give you just gratuitous information and knowledge. I want to give you things you can use. Use your Sanskars. When the negative ones come, let them pass. Let them play out and run their course. They will go eventually. And when the good ones come, ride that wave, baby. Ride it. Take it as far as you can. Get as much as you can out of it. I like this analogy. I say this pretty often. When I have days where everywhere I go, I seem to be hitting red lights. We all have these days where it seems supernatural. Like everywhere you go, you're hitting a red light. And then every once in a while, you have a day where everywhere you go, you're hitting a green light. And there's nobody around that can see it, but we're like driving the car going like, this is uncanny. Like, this is not my imagination. I'm literally hitting every red light. That's actually happening. I'm actually hitting every green light today. I've gone home on days and had every green light all the way, and I'm like, this is amazing. So here's the best way to use that. It's a good example to transfer in any area of your life as I give you this analogy of this. When I'm having a red light day, I do the minimum, what I got to do, and that's it. And then I go home. I'm not going to put on any extra. I'm going to do what I got to do, and that's it. But I'm having a green light day. I'm doing everything I have to do and as much as I can, because tomorrow might be a red light day. So why not Since I'm having every green light today, why not take care of a couple of tomorrow's errands and chores today? Take advantage of the green light days. Ride that wave. If I'm having good sanskars spiritually, emotionally, excuse me, work-wise, whatever it may be, I'm going to work extra. I'm going to do more. And if I'm having negative ones, I'm going to do the minimum. I'm not going to avoid my responsibilities on bad sanskar, bad karmic days. I can't do that. I've got to work. We all have to meet our responsibilities. We can't just not show up. I'm going to do the best I can, but if I try, and here's a good example as an author, if I try to write and create when I'm not in the mood, when I'm not in the zone, I'm having a bad sanskar, well, then it comes out like garbage. If I'm creating a slideshow, if I'm creating a presentation, if I'm writing my book, well, if I'm not in the mood, if I don't feel like it, well, then I can get it done, but it doesn't have the zeal, doesn't have the zest, doesn't have the emotion that I'm known for. And I don't want to give anything less than the best of a finished final product of what I have. And sometimes we can't get out of it. Like if I have a scheduled presentation or a client to see, or an appointment, well, that's locked in. I can't change my mind because excuse me, I'm having a bad sanskar day. I can't see you today. That's how I make my living. And it's also how people that rely on me for some very sensitive things, from drug addiction to behavioral disorders, to emotional things, to saving their marriage. I can't phone it in because I'm not having a good day. You push through these things. You ride those waves, and eventually, even the bad days, you do pretty good. And the good days, you soar. So another thing we talked about in the KARM presentation is the brand of karmas that we have. What brand of karma do we have? And we talked about the same thing here with our sanskars. Are we creating material consciousness sanskars or spiritual ones? Are we creating philosophical ones? Are we creating indulgent ones? Which ones are we creating? Every day and every moment we get a choice what we're going to be creating to lay the layers into our mind. And we get to make that willful, conscious choice of what we're going to be involved with and what we're going to show people around us to be the example of what we believe in. So the brand of karmas and the brand of sanskars we're creating is our field of attachments. What are we involved with? Pretty much the same image that I used in the KARM, because whatever we're attaching to, whatever we're persisting in, we're creating those layers for our next lives. And once you create them, you can't get out of them. That's what's going to be that's the account. That's the karmic savings account you're going to be withdrawing from. Whatever you put in there is what you're going to be pulling out in your next life. Same with sanskars. Whatever you put in is what you're going to be pulling out. So put in good stuff and put in a lot of it, because you're going to need as much as you can get. So do we want to create brands of sanskars that are more material? You see all these little commercial icons there. Or do we want to create positive, healthy, spiritual sanskars? You see in these two images, we have someone who's in meditation, doing something very cosmic. And here's another image of my guru. I could meditate on him all day, and it would do nothing but benefit me. I don't need to meditate on the universe. I don't need to meditate on anything else. The best thing for me to meditate on is a divine personality, somebody that's God realized, somebody that is enlightened already, that is a personification of divine love. Christ, the Buddha, whatever it is you choose, whatever flavor you want, whatever brand you want, spend time with it. Create your field of attachments for this life and your next. As we already know, repetition and association is the rule that makes a hobby, a habit. You do something again and again and again, that's action. And what you feel about it, you associate with it. That's good, that's bad. Then you're creating behaviors. That's the process of how you create behaviors, every one of us. Repetition and association. We can choose what we're going to repeat and what we're going to associate with and how. And here's the beautiful thing about associating with and creating those layers of spiritual sanskars and karmas. They don't have a magic potency and power. It's one of these things where it's an ineffable experience. When you persist in habits and consciousness that are material minded, material world has no mind. Spirituality does. The material world is a lifeless, inanimate thing that works on machinations. But spirituality is a living, breathing, conscious thing. And not thing, I like the word thing. It's a he, it's a she, it's God. And so when we interact with, when we create, when we enhance, I like that, when we enhance our spiritual fields of attachment by spending time with them, well, then they feed us too. God is simple in many ways. You take one step towards him, towards her, and she comes running to you. You take one step towards God, and God comes running 5 to you. So when we apply our time and our energy and our effort in our spirituality, God more than meets us halfway. God comes running towards us to meet our need and our desire, to enhance it, to encourage it, because God is selfless. God is perfect love, and that's it. So when we like or try to love God, which we can't because we're just dumb humans, but based on our effort, just our intention, God rewards us with that. And I kind of air quote that because it's not quite reward. It is a reward, but at the same time, it's just how God is. God doesn't really require you to do anything. Just turn your mind to him. And God turns her mind to you. And when you're turning your material mind to God, God turns her divine mind to you. And a divine mind turned to you gives you divinity, gives you spirituality that's ineffable and transcends material consciousness. So what we involve ourselves with, our meditation, on hopefully a spiritual level, not just a clear and peace of mind, content of mind. I don't advocate those. First of all, in this age of Kali, they're impossible to do. And second of all, I don't want to just be at peace. I want to feel bliss. I want to feel love. I want to feel intimate with God. I don't want to just feel good. I don't want to feel nothing. No. I don't want to be like asleep or in a coma. I want to feel God's presence, God's love. God's love is all around, omniscient and omnipresent. All we need to do is tune into it like a radio frequency. It's already there. We don't have to create it. We don't have to deserve it. All we have to do is tune into it, turn to it, and then it's there. So the other thing is SANSKARS versus KARM, material KARM and SANSKARS, delayed consequence. Everything you do in the world, think and say and act, has a delayed consequence that we talked over in the KARM presentation. It gets stored in the Akashic records to fructify and play out in your subsequent lifetimes. But spiritual KARM and SANSKARS have a very unique quality to them. They are instant and delayed. I need to fix that slide because it's not just instant, they're also delayed. In other words, if your actions combined with intentions create your karmic consequences for next lifetimes, and that's it. No karmic actions create instances in this lifetime. They're all delayed. Again, referring you to the prior presentation on KARM. How do we know this? Because it's in Sanskrit and it's in the original Vedas that describe what karma is. But we go to the source, and the source says karma is a delayed reaction, a delayed consequence. You do this in this lifetime, you get the results of it and the consequence in the next lifetimes. But spiritual ones, spiritual actions and sanskars are delayed like karmas are. You're getting them in your next lifetime, but you're also getting them instantly. When we think of, connect with, when we attach to, when we perform actions for spirituality, for our divine parent, and for divine love, and for God, then we are indeed creating karmic and sanskar consequences that will play out in future lifetimes. We're also going to see the benefits of it right now, in this lifetime. Material karmas and sanskars don't do that. They're always stored for later. But spirituality and your spiritual sanskars and karmas get both. You get an instant return on your investment, and you get a delayed one. It accrues interest, and you get it instantly. Try it and see, and you'll see that you'll see the evidence of this. All right, let's move on a little bit. Summary. KARM means action and consequence. You've gone over this. Hopefully you watched the first presentation. I think we did 2 on KARM. SANSKARS regulate mood, attitudes, and fields of attachment. Very important on that last part, fields of attachment. What you're involving yourself with, you're creating fields of attachment. Whatever you're going to be attached to. Pistachio ice cream, Rocky Road ice cream. Don't do the Rocky Road thing. That's just weird. Material versus spiritual, instant and delayed consequence. Again, this is a little bit of summary. The key notes to this, to try to remember or try to maybe make a note of, to be able to use this knowledge, is to be mindful that material versus spiritual, instant versus delayed consequence. The material actions and intentions give us delayed consequences, but spiritual ones give us both. They are delayed, so we get the benefit from that in a future lifetime, and we also get it instantly. Sanskars come in waves. We feel good one day, we feel bad one day. We feel spiritual one day, we feel material the next day, or even in an hour. It can change. We all have this. We all have our mood change throughout the day. And we can say, well, it must be Mars in retrograde or Mercury in retrograde or the moon's getting full. Those things are all factors as well, no doubt about it. But for example, the full moon, I'm a Cancer with a Scorpio rising. So Cancer is the moon child, where we are full on with the moon thing. And so the weird thing is, because I'm a Cancer, full moon doesn't affect me the same way. Lunacy, literally we have higher hospital rates, higher crime. I mean, police, emergency technicians and police, they're on red alert on full moons because they know, especially in cities, it's going to be crazy. And it truly is. But as a Cancer, true Cancerian, I get weirded. I get a little bit odd-minded the day before or the day after a full moon, but not on. During a full moon, I'm like totally peaceful and content. I'm very much at ease. And I'm kind of high strung all the time anyway. But when it's full moon, that's when I'm suddenly like anybody else. I'm like kind of mellow. So again, they come in waves. We can ride them out if they're bad ones, or we can ride with them if they're good ones. Do the minimum on bad sanskar days and do the maximum on good sanskar days. Red light, green light. I literally call them red light days and green light days. We all have those red light days where everything seems to be going wrong. Murphy's Law. We have green light days where everything seems to be going right without any effort. On a green light day, do as much as you possibly can. On a red light day, do the minimum. Don't do nothing. Don't stay in bed. You can't do that. You got to keep busy. But do the minimum. Remember that you're creating the field of attachment now and forever. What you're involving yourself with, what you're attaching your mind to in this lifetime, what you're spending your time with. You're creating these field of attachments in this for now and forever. Remember that your spiritual ones become instant and delayed. So again, I give you the analogy of looking at your karma and your sanskars as a bank account. What you're putting into, what you're depositing in your bank account for karma and sanskars is what you're going to be able to withdraw in the future. If your bank account is empty, well, you don't have anything to withdraw in your next life or this one. So if I put more spiritual, sanskars and karmic actions in my account, my life account, well, then that's what I get to withdraw from. The more I put in, the more I get to withdraw. I want to have as much as I possibly can have, as we all do. And then, of course, get to know your brand of karma and sanskars. This is a rather elusive concept. I don't go into a lot here on a presentation because it's a little bit elusive. I have many clients understand the brand of karmas and consequences when I work with them individually, because I can give them examples of their real life in a conversation. And again, I give my own as something of an example. I've learned the hard way that nothing has ever come to me for free or easy. And a lot of people say that, but I mean, actually, genuinely, nothing has ever come free or easy for me. I've never won anything. I don't win prizes. I don't win lotteries. I don't. Never happens. I do the same thing anybody else does. Do you figure eventually the odds would break down for you, would do it for you? But that's not the case. However, so my brand of karma and sanskars, my brand of karma is that I don't get things for free. But I've also learned by 54 years on this planet that when I work really hard and put my heart into something, I can't just work hard. I got to have emotion in it. Then I get results. I succeed at things when I put my heart and my mind into it. And I work hard. So that's my brand. Lots of people get something for nothing. Lots of people get nothing for something. Lots of people work very hard and get nothing. Lots of people work very little and they get lots. All that matters is that you understand your brand of karma and sanskar. So my brand of sanskar is I've been spiritually conscious and mindful since I was born. That was a sanskar I was born with. Don't get me wrong. There are people that are far more advanced and far more spiritually sanskared than I am, for sure. So I'm not projecting that I'm the Buddha. I'm simply saying that I've never had a tremendous desire for material things. I like them. And you would think as a hedonist drug addict in my 20s, in my late teens and 20s, that all I was pursuing was pleasure. But the irony is that what drew me to drug addiction, what drew me to drugs, and I did some like really intense stuff, was because I wanted to explore and experience the profound. I wasn't just trying to have a good time. I was literally doing psychedelics and doing narcotics because I was trying to expand my consciousness. What a dumbass. It obviously didn't expand it. It contracted severely. But my intention as a young, stupid man was I was doing drugs, experimenting with drugs, not just to have a good time. Matter of fact, I really didn't care about that. I was experimenting and sampling because I wanted to see what was on the other side. I wanted to experience something profound. Unfortunately, eventually, those explorations, as all drugs do, got very sour. And it became nothing but pleasure and pain. Pain. So again, get to know your brand of karma and sanskars. In this lifetime, do you have a natural tendency towards spiritual things? I would assume you do because you're watching this. Do you have an aversion towards spiritual things or an aversion towards whatever it may be? If you have an aversion towards spiritual things, well, maybe you want to enhance it. Maybe that's why you're here. Maybe you're just trying to expand and get into a little bit more. Maybe it's a natural fit. Maybe it's not natural, but you know you should. And again, I gave the example earlier about working out. In the beginning, when we want to get fit, we need discipline. We've got to will ourselves. We've got to really commit to it and put boundaries. I've got to work out at 4 o'clock, and if we don't discipline ourselves, we won't do it. But after a time, it becomes natural. I used to have to discipline myself to eat right, be vegetarian, and all. Now it's all I know. So we get to make these choices and create these brands for this lifetime and next. Be very conscious in your everyday life, what you're involving yourself with. And then when I say thank you for being here, I'm not signing off. We're not done quite yet. I got a few more. I'm saying thank you for being here because you're clearly interested in and trying to evolve. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here with these concepts. So I appreciate it. And I appreciate, again, what I'm drawn to teach it and show it. We're creating these sanskars together. Me as a teacher, me as a spiritualist, and you Same. Both trying to acquire the knowledge and put it to use. Don't forget to put it to use. That's what this is about. So, who the F is this guy anyway? I love the fact that, see, when I create these things, like some time goes by and I kind of went out of town for a couple of days. I don't remember what it is. So for me, it's like a new presentation due. Like I don't even know what's coming next. And I kind of leave it that way. I do that way on purpose because it's a little bit more of a surprise for me too. And that way it's a little bit more spontaneous instead of like scripted. So because I look at this, I'm like, so what was my point there? Like, I know it's there to remind me to bring up a certain point, but who the F is this guy anyway? Because I know what that means. It's because I'm never asking you to just trust me. Anybody that's giving me their time, I'm not asking you just, hey, trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Never trust anybody that says trust me. I don't ask anybody to trust me. I want people to have confidence in me, in my knowledge and ability to present the right information for you. The way I establish that confidence is by verifying it and establishing it to you genuinely. I've done more than just have ideas. What makes a qualified teacher? Right knowledge and practical experience. That's what. Anybody that you're getting advice from, I don't care if it's legal, medical, or spiritual, or mystical, they should have right knowledge and practical experience. When I go to get surgery or something at the hospital, I don't want a guy that's read it out of a book. Oh, no. I want a guy that actually done the stuff. The man that took the disc out of my spine after my accident, and I was up 14 hours, upside down, hanging up in stirrups. 14 hours. That guy was doing surgery on me in an instant because it was that I was never going to walk again. This guy obviously well in school, but he also is a premier surgeon that has experience. I always bring this point because we're inundated, and I am so annoyed. This is part of my weakness, part of my sanskar. I'm so annoyed by all these spiritual people, and I say the air quotes here because time and time again, I look at their websites, and somebody introduced me about somebody, and I look them up, and I'm like, so what qualifies them? Oh, they had some awakening when they were younger, and now they're psychic. Garbage. Your teacher, your mentor, your guides, your doctor, your whoever you're turning to for anything should have both. Two main things: right knowledge, real, right, correct knowledge that they studied and learned from the actual sources, and they should have practical experience. Everything that I share in spirituality and mysticism are things that I have studied the original sources from: Hermeticism, Hinduism, Sanatana Dharma. I've read the books, theology, biblical. I can debate some very well-educated Christian scholars, and I can defeat them in debate. And that's not because I'm against Christ, because I'm not at all. I'm totally for it. We've got these people that are advising and heading these things up that don't have the right knowledge. They picked up things along the way and they've drawn their own conclusions. I don't want my surgeon, my doctor to draw their own conclusions. I want them to be well educated and also to be practical experience. When it comes to your spiritual mentors, your spiritual guides, your spiritual teachers, these people should have two things: right knowledge and practical experience. I didn't just study all my life the original ancient manuscripts and scriptures that I present on. I've also practiced it. When I teach on ceremonial magic, well, I am a third-degree ceremonial magician. That's pretty low out of 9 of them, but I've done it. I practiced ceremonial magic for many years. I studied it. I have a library of it. And even though I don't practice like a religion anymore, when I advise people, when I'm guiding people, when I perform ceremonial magic for people, which I do for hire sometimes, it's legit. It's the real stuff. I don't just talk about meditation and yoga. I practice it. whoever it is, and I want you to know, again, I'm not just trying to earn your trust, trying to earn your confidence. I want you to know that everything I present to you, I give to you with a life of acquiring the right knowledge and putting things to practice so I can say firsthand whether they work or not, how and why. So when I suggest or infer that something is faulty or doesn't work, anyone that I'm presenting to can ask me, so how do you know that? Well, here's my experience with it. I'm not telling you it doesn't work for you. Might work for you. I'm saying that here's what my experience is. And it's very well thought out. It's very thorough. I immerse myself in every event that I'm doing, every piece of knowledge. So our teachers, our guides, should be just that. Here you have a couple pictures of me showing that I'm at Stonehenge, practical experience. I know a lot about it. And also me at a temple in India to show that in my own way, I try to be the real deal. I'm not just giving you theory. I've been there. I've been to these places. I walked the grounds. And these other images are my guru when he was young and later in his life. He is the walking, he left the planet now, the embodiment of not right knowledge and practical experience. He wasn't practicing his spirituality. He is spirituality. I'm not going to accept somebody as my guru or my teacher or my guide unless they're the real deal. They both have both practical knowledge and experience. Don't tell me in theory. Tell me what it is. So these are images showing that where I'm concerned, and I'm nowhere near, I'm not even suggesting that, and I've often said to anybody that's watching these things, I'm not guru, I'm not a master, I'm none of those things. I'm a human being. I'm aspiring to be, and I've associated with, and I've gained my knowledge from the direct sources. I don't want to read about the Buddha. I want to read what he said, what he did. I don't want to read about an enlightened saint or master. I want to read what he did, who he is, what did he say? Many of our saints and teachers and guides and gurus have left a body of knowledge for us, scriptural knowledge. Many of them don't. Many of them, like Jesus, came and gave experience. They gave a story to tell, what we call Leela in Sanskrit and Hindi. We can learn from those experiences if we get into them directly. What really happened? What did he really do? What did he really say? If he didn't write a book about it, what did he say? So we have the gospel, we have the other gospels. What about the gospel of Jesus himself? Well, in the Nag Hammadi Library, a whole other presentation in the future, there may very well be an actual gospel that Jesus wrote himself or had it written. So we want to go to the source. And when I align myself, because I was blessed with the opportunity to align myself with an actual divinely realized, capital R, enlightened, spiritually enlightened personality, well, then I know I was getting the real thing. And I can tell you that when you're in the presence of an enlightened personality, all I can tell you is that if you're open, you know it. They're not like other people. They look like people. They might act like people, but they're not. So as we wrap up here, please like the channel, visit the website. It costs literally nothing to like the channel, and traffic results in ratings, and only through donations and services can I or any spiritualist continue to offer truth and knowledge. Your donations for services are very welcome, but as I say, your donations for services. I don't expect, I wouldn't be very comfortable with people just donating money. I'm not saying I wouldn't take it. I'm saying I wouldn't be comfortable with it. I offer things in exchange, knowledge and truth, workbooks, sessions, guidance, everything that's on my website. A lot of it's for free. There's a few things there for sale and they're dirt cheap. And this little bit goes a long way. It's a way I can keep these things sustained. I've got to pay monthly subscriptions to keep a website going, all these kind of things. So if you can, like the channel, go to my website. A little traffic goes a long way. Pick up something for free that I have there. I have several things for free on spiritualtriangle.com. Pick up something for free. Buy a service. Get a personal one-on-one counseling session and pick your topic. I got a wide range of knowledge in mysticism and spirituality. Pick one. I am not a human being having a spiritual experience. I'm a spiritual being having a human experience. This is something we need to remember. So what I have again there is readings. I offer live sessions. So readings are spiritual triangle readings that span your whole life. There are many different offers there for just a month, for a year, for your whole life. Many things to take a look at, and they're pretty dead on and accurate. They're very, very thorough. They take me hours to complete. Live sessions like this, only one-on-one. We're on Skype. We're on video session. And I will advise and counsel and teach and educate you. And mystical gangster training. I have a whole program to teach how to be a mystical gangster, how to be against the grain and get the real stuff. Workbooks, again, spiritualtriangle.com, and also my email, christianon@spiritualtriangle.com. Please reach out. I'm always hoping to hear from you. So here's what's coming next. Near-death experience, NDE. So again, I'm always surprised with what I wrote. A holy shit, true life, absolute, unforgettable, undeniable adventure through KARM and SANSKAR. So I know that I've needed to do this presentation on my near-death experience for a long time. I postponed it, and I'm starting to know why. My death experience is not like any others. I've been to conventions with near-deathers, and I know a lot about it. I've studied it for years now. And in my usual bizarre fashion, my near-death circumstance and experience from the moment it happened all the way up to this day continues to be this surreal, supernatural, undeniable supernatural series of events that are just not like anyone else's. I've read a lot of near-death experiences, a lot of them. I'm not saying mine's better. I'm just saying, oh my God, it's bizarre, and it makes people weep, and it blows their mind, and it provides direct, undeniable evidence of karma and sanskars. Absolutely undeniable. I defy anyone, even an atheist, to come and join me on some of these things and hear what I experienced. Not what I thought, not what I perceived. The actual events that occurred are absolutely mind-blowing and undeniable. So that's coming up soon. Now that we've completed the KARM presentation and SANSKARS, soon I'm going to put together the near-death experience. Now, I was thinking to do that next. However, I came up with another idea today. And that is that since New Year's is coming, and doing presentations during the holidays is just a waste of time because nobody can make it. But since New Year's is coming, I think I might do a different presentation on Kal. Kal, K-A-L, is Sanskrit for time, the time factor of existence. We are in Kali Yuga. There is Satya Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and there's a third one that I always forget the name of. And then there's Kali Yuga. There's 4 of them. They're like seasons. And Satya Yuga is extremely spiritual. Everyone on the planet is very spiritual. Kali Yuga is the exact opposite. Everyone's very material. And we're in the beginning stage of Kali Yuga. So I think with New Year's, it may be great and be a lot of fun to present on Yuga, on Kal. Yuga means age. Kal means kind of like time of an age. Oh, I'm sorry. Kal means, I got that. Kal does not mean time. Yuga means time. Yuga means age. Kal is the time. So Kal is like the material era. So there are 4 of them. And I think it may be a lot of fun for New Year's or just after New Year's, instead of giving my annual New Year's presentation, which I've always done for a long time, tell people solve behaviors and habits, is I might either do a second one or combine it with a presentation on Kali Yuga. The 4 different yugas, the ages that we experience through eternity, and might explore that. So that's about it for today. Hope to see you soon. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your attendance. I appreciate your interest. Anybody have any questions? A little delay there. No questions? Well, thank you for attending. Thank you for sticking it out. I find that there's a whole lot of people that watch these things afterwards. But it's always nice to have a few live people too at the various places, from Facebook to here to the other YouTube channel. And I can't always see all of them. I want to see one at a time. So we will conclude very soon. And thank you for coming by. Thank you for attending. And somebody just came on. They just to hear him say goodbye. So again, thank you. And if you would, please like the channel and visit the website and reach out to me and take a look at some of the services that I offer. I think you'll get a lot out of it for very little to no money. Many things I give away for free. And also, please consider looking at my clinical website, www.life-mind.com. I am an addiction specialist worldwide. I solve them. It's guaranteed. If you do the course, I guarantee that you'll get, let's get rid of that because that's kind of gross. Me dead there. That was me waking up in the hospital. That wasn't waking up. I was in a coma in the hospital. But let's not keep looking at that. That's gross. So life-mind.com has my books, my 4 award-winning books, my behavioral services to solve stress, anxiety, addictions of all kinds. And I hope I invite you to cruise by there too. So thank you again for your time. Thank you for coming by and attending. And feel free to send me emails with any questions you might have. And go by spiritualtriangle.com, the website, and let me know if there's something I can do for you. Okay? Another time. Namaste.